England had won 36.1% of their 61 matches at Trent Bridge and 36.4% of their 77 tests at Old Trafford. They have played 55 times at the MCG and won 36.4% of those. If it does not feel quite as homely as Nottingham or Manchester, Melbourne has been the site of many great English moments, as well as, inevitably, a few grisly nightmares. Perhaps the greatest of those 55 tests, and surely the most thrilling, came in 1982, with England 20 down after 3 matches but the destination of the urn still undecided. It was, the England spinner Jeff Miller said, the best and most exciting test match I ever played in. Australia's final pair, Alan Border and Jeff Thomson, needed 74 runs to win the match, and with it the Ashes. England's tactic was simple: offer Border easy singles and wait for Thomson to get himself out. There was no pressure on me, Thomson would later tell Cricinfo. Everyone expected me to play a stupid shot and get out. But it didn't happen that way. I can still picture the England side's growing anxiety. They had stupid fields, bowled badly, and everything was in the batsman's favour. Slowly, the target got closer. England took the new ball with Australia 33 runs from victory, but still the wicket they needed would not come. Eventually, Australia needed 4 more runs to claim victory. Thomson was on strike, and Ian Botham bowling. I thought I would get a single, so AB could hit the winning runs, Thomson said. It was a half-tracker and a bit of an away swinger. A bad ball really. I just tried to push it out for a single rather than smash it. It caught his edge and flew to Christopher at second slip. He could not hold it, but the ball popped up behind and Miller caught it at first slip. I couldn't talk about it for years, Thomson said. It was one of the all-time low moments in my life. That match still sits joint third on the list of closest test finishes, of which 9 of the top 15 came in Ashes contests. The 1998 MCG test is at number 13, another slender England victory, by 13 runs, memorable for Alex Stewart's first Ashes century, Mike Atherton's first test pair, and a classic last innings collapse by Australia. Set an eminently achievable target of 175. The home side fell from 130 for 3 to 140 for 7 and 162 all out, with Dean Headley achieving career best figures of 6 for 60, his only test 5 for. The finest English bowling performance in Melbourne, however, came in 195,455 when Frank "Typhoon" Tyson, described by Don Bradman as the fastest bowler I have ever seen, finished the match with a spell of 6 for 16 in 6.38 ball overs to tilt the series in England's favour. The Guardian's Dennis Rowbottom wrote that this was a victory so violent and unexpected, that 3 hours after its accomplishment the mind and senses have not quite recovered from the shock of it. Brian Statham took 5 wickets in the first innings, and Rowbottom noted the speed of both bowlers was simply too much for the Australian batsmen's techniques, a now unlikely sounding occurrence that they have avenged many times since. In March 1977, the MCG hosted a special, one-off match to celebrate the centenary of the first ever test. The victors, Australia, were the same in each match. Much more remarkably, England's margin of defeat in both games was 45 runs. There was some drama along the way, though. Australia were skittled out for 138 on the first day, with the opener Rick McCosker's dismissal particularly unusual. He mistimed a hook and was hit in the face by a Bob Willis bouncer, which not only broke his jaw, but the ball also dropped onto his stumps. Richie Benaud opined there has never been a more disastrous day for Australian cricket in the 100 years the game has been fought between the two countries, but the following morning Dennis Lillee took 6 wickets as England were bowled out for 95. In the second innings, 3 Australians scored 50s and Rod Marsh hit an unbeaten 110, while McCosker, swathed in bandages, unexpectedly returned at number 10 to hit a doughty 25. England's target was 463 to 60, more than the record successful chase at the time in tests. Derek Randall made 174, in terms of balls faced, the longest England innings in Melbourne, and at 346 before the improbable was suddenly possible. Randall's innings proved in vain but was unforgettable, though, for sheer endurance. Bob Cowper's 12.5-hour triple century in a draw in 1966 puts it to shame. The MCG was Shane Warne's home ground, and it was where he took his 150th, 350th and 700th test wickets. The last of these was a particularly emotional moment, coming in December 2006, soon after he had announced his retirement from international cricket. There are some special days that happen in your life and some special things that happen, and that is definitely one of them, he said. The birth of your children, getting married, playing your first test, they're pretty special. From an individual point of view, that's got to be one of the best days I've ever had. Another came at the same ground 12 years previously when Warne claimed his only test hat-trick as England, chasing an unlikely target of 388, were bowled out for 92. It was the MCG's fifth test hat-trick, all taken in pursuit of the Ashes, but the first for more than 90 years. The one Englishman on that list is Willie Bates, another spinner, whose performance in 1883 must rank among the finest in Melbourne. Coming in at number 8 in the first innings, he scored 55, the second-best score of the match, and he then took 7 wickets in both Australia innings, including a hat-trick in their first knock. On another tour of Australia 5 years later, Bates was struck in the face by the ball during a net session, the injury leaving him with vision so badly affected that he never played first-class cricket again. He died, aged 44, 12 years later.